The sky over Earth glimmered a strange hue that night, just slightly out of sync with natural atmosphere. Hidden in a veil of flickering light, Commander Vireya of the Ilari Dominion floated silently above Earth's surface, observing her target. Designation: human male. Name: Elias Mercer. Mission: secure DNA sample and erase memory, came the cold voice of her internal protocol relay. Vireya watched the human from the rooftop of the abandoned warehouse across his apartment. Tall, solitary, reclusive. A biotechnologist by day, a mystery at night. The Ilari High Council had flagged him not for his past, but for his future. His genome carried dormant markers tied to ancient stellar bloodlines. He could be the key to Ilari regeneration, something her people desperately needed. Yet there he was, unaware, smiling faintly through the window as he watered his single thriving orchid. Vireya sighed. This was supposed to be simple. One drop of blood, one erased memory, one forgotten night. But the first rule of the Ilari was no emotional entanglement with humans. That was the boundary carved into her mind since initiation. And yet, standing there in the shadows, she hesitated. Chapter 2. First Contact. It began as a staged accident. She bumped into Elias outside his building, feigning a spill of his coffee. "Oh God, I'm sorry," he stammered, grabbing napkins from his coat. "It's okay," she said, eyes locking with his. That was mistake number one. Talk. She introduced herself as Rin, a visiting scholar from an unnamed university. She mirrored just enough human mannerisms to pass. But the more time she spent with him, dinners, late-night walks, even shared silences, the harder it became to remember where the mission ended and she began. He made her laugh, something her species regarded as frivolous. He asked her questions about things that didn't matter to the mission. What made her happy, what scared her. Things no one in the Dominion ever asked her. She was falling. Not in the literal way her kind sometimes did from orbit, but emotionally, irreversibly. And she still hadn't collected the sample. Chapter 3. Crossroads. On the 18th day, the council contacted her. "You're behind schedule," said the overseer. "I need more time," she replied. "You're compromised. If you do not complete extraction within 48 hours, your body will be recalled, with or without your consent." She cut the signal and stared out the window. Elias was beside her, dozing on the couch, head tilted toward her shoulder. She could feel his warmth through her synthetic skin. She knew she should move, retrieve the molecular spike, extract the drop of blood, and wipe it all away with a pulse of Ilari tech. But she didn't. Instead, she whispered, "Elias, do you believe in other lives?" He stirred slightly. "What do you mean?" "Like, somewhere out there, someone who looks like me is doing something very different." He smiled, eyes still closed. "Yeah. I think in another life we might have found each other differently. Not by accident, but on purpose." Her heart, a construct of vibrating crystal matrices, shivered. Chapter 4. The decision. The final night came. She led him to the forest outside the city under the guise of a midnight adventure. She had to isolate him from all electromagnetic interference to safely use the extraction device. But the real reason, she didn't want the city to see what she might become. They sat by a lake, the moon full above them. She pulled the device from her coat. "What's that?" Elias asked. She hesitated. "It's the truth." He watched her. "You're not from here, are you?" "No." He nodded as though deep down he had always known. "So what happens now?" "I was sent to harvest a sample from you. And erase everything you've seen." He didn't flinch. He simply asked, "And what do you want?" She looked up at the stars, her home among them. "I want to choose," she said softly. Silence stretched between them. She deactivated the device. A full violation of her orders. "You broke the rules," Elias murmured. "Yes." Then she handed him the molecular spike. "If you want to help me survive my people's wrath, press this to your palm. It will take one drop. And I'll vanish." He stared at the device. "And if I don't? I stay. But they'll come for me. And maybe for you." He didn't take the device. Instead, he reached out and held her hand. "Then we fight together." Chapter 5. Consequences. The sky above cracked open the next night. The Ilari did not negotiate. They descended not with weapons, but with will. A warship that bent time slightly around its core hovered above Earth, unseen by humans but loud in her ears. Message came. "Commander Vireya, surrender the human. Or be extracted." She stood in the middle of Elias's apartment, shielding him with her body. "No," she said aloud. "I invoke the sovereign right of melding." There was silence, then alarm. "That is forbidden. It binds you permanently to a human. Your DNA will begin to alter. You will become less than Ilari." "I know," she said. "I choose it." Elias looked at her. "What does that mean?" "It means I can never return. Not as who I was." She placed her palm to his heart. A spark leapt between them. Literal light, a shattering of rules, a rewriting of what Ilari were. Her form shimmered. Not fully alien. Not fully human. Something new. The ship vanished without another word. She had become an exile. Chapter 6. Life After. A year passed. They lived quietly, off-grid in a cottage surrounded by wildflowers and stars that only she truly recognized. Vireya, now Rin in truth, still carried the knowledge of the stars in her bones, but her purpose had changed. No longer an agent. No longer a weapon. Elias continued his research, but it was no longer just human science. He explored the symbiosis between his species and hers, searching for the future the Council once feared. One evening, as they lay under the stars, he asked, "Do you ever miss it? Up there?" She thought for a moment, then smiled. "No, because everything I ever wanted is down here." Epilogue. Far beyond the stars, high above Earth, a secret branch of the Ilari Council studied the anomaly that was Rin. "Her genome is evolving," one elder whispered. "She's more than either now. Perhaps she is the future." They didn't speak of it again, but they watched, quietly, carefully, and somewhere, deep in the archives of the stars, her name was written in a new tongue. The one who chose love over law.